Hi, it's me, and that's him, and we're the Sci-Fi Scholars.
And we're talking Captain America Civil War. Click here for to stay spoiler free.
Well, we could link to spoilers there. No, we'll link to spoilers here. So, anyway, we saw Civil War the other night, and
Yes, we did.
well, I did.
Alright, I'm in a little city mood.
Okay, so overall it was pretty good, but I did have some things that I weren't as happy about. For example, for me, Spider-Man seemed to be too, I guess, experienced because lines up with how strong and how capable he can be, but his ability to be able to take down Falcon and Bucky, like the Winter Soldier, that early in his career seems iffy.
It didn't quite fit right.
Because, like the day before, maybe it was 2 days, I think it was like the day before, it has to be the day before, because then 36 hours, day before, Stark has gone to his place, he's got a home-stitched suit with goggles, and there's a bit of footage of him taking on petty thugs.
That's all, you don't see much.
And then the next day, he's obviously got Stark's brand new suit, fantastic, that's fine, but...
And Stark wouldn't know enough, I think, about Falcon or Winter Soldier's fighting style for him to be able to actually give him pointers like he does with Cap. He tells him to go for his legs, and he keeps up with Cap for a little bit before Cap goes, okay, now I've got to take him down.
Yeah.
And then he does, straight away. Pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally agree. That was one of the things that I felt a little bit weird about in that moment too. But one thing I did like in those fights was Spider-Man was incredibly quippy.
Yes.
He just constantly chatting, talking, and then...
Until he gets told.
And then Falcon's like, no one talks this much in a fight. He's like, oh, sorry, my bad.
Yeah. So, for me, they could have redeemed Spider-Man's fighting style against Falcon and Bucky if at the end, when Bucky makes the comment like, where was Red Wing 5 minutes ago, if Falcon had come out and said, I was going easy on the kid, I didn't want to hurt him, then you could be like, then you could explain away why Spider-Man got ahead of them in the first place.
So Spider-Man's quippiness and his fighting style was really good. He was just too powerful, too experienced,
and getting off too many good shots.
Yeah.
But the quippiness throughout the whole movie was really good. Even like one-liners from Romanov or Stark, and just like Stark threatening Spider-Man with his like auntie, like, I'll tell your auntie. He's like, oh, okay, don't like.
Yeah.
The whole way through, there was lots of great jokes which they've kept up throughout the Captain America movies, especially with Romanov, bringing in, even though she's her backstory and even the idea of Black Widow is very, very dark, they've brought that back really well.
Yeah, I agree. It was a good, solid story.
Yeah.
Typical, things that just needed to happen to move the story along, but they didn't take away from the story. Like, it didn't go, you know, like, oh, okay, so that, okay, now we're going to, it was, let that slide, I don't mind too much. The one little gripe I have with the two gripes.
Yep.
One's technical, one's story. Yep. Technical side of things for me with the direction, I was watching it going, I'm really liking this direction, and then all of a sudden it would lose the creativeness that it looked like it was going to, and just started looking like a cookie cutter movie in places. And then like I was like, oh, this could be a really cool one big shot and long take and stuff. And then it was at a cut to a different angle that I just went, well, what was the point of that?
Yeah.
You had this really long shot that could have really followed, and it just didn't work.
Like Red Wing went to a big load of the truck type of deal.
Yeah, there was a moment with the Red Wing with the truck at the start of the movie. And at the start of the movie, there was these awesome running scenes and awesome fight scenes and stuff. But I had to concentrate really hard to see what was going on because the camera was moving so much.
Yep.
And I don't mind moving camera. But when you've got choreography like they do in Marvel movies, why would you want to hide that behind so much camera shake?
Yeah.
And what made it even worse was later on, you had still like locked off, no movement whatsoever in the camera when they're talking. But even in other scenes, the camera's moving while they're talking in a serious moment. So it wasn't like they went, oh, okay, that's a little bit lighthearted. We can give some camera movement, but here we're going to stay still.
Yeah.
That's just a little gripe for me. It felt like two different directors. I know they're brothers, but you would have thought. It felt like Marvel might have stepped in a bit too much, but I could be totally wrong with that. And it might have just been a design that I didn't see. But that was just me being nitpicky. My other nitpick, yes, I'm going again.
That's fine.
Was the story part. I really felt they had the perfect opportunity to kill off the character, which they didn't take.
Yeah.
It was the moment where Vision
no more
finally...
Civil War.
It was the moment where Vision comes into the fight again in the airfield when they're chasing down Cap in his ship, and he fires, and then Falcon, does his little tuck thingy and
dodges the shot,
which takes out Rhodey. And there's this. It's actually a really good moment where they cut inside, and you see what Rhodey sees, and you hear the panic in his voice because all he can see is through these tiny little slits, and you're just like, he's freaking out, and Tony and Falcon both try, and you think, oh yeah, they might, and then they don't save him, and he lands on the ground. I was like, this would be an awesome story arc and an awesome B-list characters as in Falcon and Rhodey to kill him off, because then you would have Falcon having to deal with that because he was slightly responsible.
Although Brody did call in basically danger close artillery strikes on himself, which is risky.
He did, but it still was Falcon's fault that he got shot.
And Vision's.
It was both. But if you were Falcon, you would take a bit of responsibility for that. And
Scarlet Witch. Yeah. Was under powers, but
we're not going there yet. I'm talking about this part.
Fine.
I'm really passionate about this, alright? This is just... I just felt like they could have put a lot more gravitas to moments where they're like, our character's dead.
Yeah.
Even if it's just B-list. Because then you'd be like, in the next movie, you'd be like, yeah, most of the time my A-list characters are going to be fine. But you might be like, oh, mate, they might kill off Falcon in the next Cap movie because they killed off Rhodey. Or, they might kill off Jane or something with Thor. Because you'd be like, oh, hang on. They've shown a willingness to actually kill off a character. They never have to kill off another character. And it felt like his was the right moment. It was the right moment, the right gravitas. It would have been an interesting story for both Falcon and Iron Man. And they would have come back to Cap, and Cap would have felt a little responsible for it too.
Yeah.
And it would have brought something more to it.
Yeah. And like another level of the deaths and vengeances which they were investigating a lot.
Yes.
But so yeah, like I said, with Vision and Scarlet Witch both seemed underpowered to me throughout their interactions because they're both way more powerful than any of the other individual Avengers
that we saw in this movie.
Oh yeah, in this movie.
Yeah.
Like Scarlet Witch is literally one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel universe. Sure, she's still currently a bit young, doesn't really know all of her powers, and when she made a mistake, that plays into it a bit more. And Vision's still kind of trying to figure out what he's doing with the stone.
He's trying to control it still.
And but at the same time, they just disappeared on the airfield. Which,
the airfield fight.
I guess you could explain away as they were having a chat about their earlier fight if you wanted to, but they should have had some interaction, and then all of a sudden they showed up conveniently when it was useful for her to catch some falling debris.
It wasn't even that. It was Vision didn't even show up in those parts. It was Vision disappeared more than Scarlet Witch. All of a sudden, something was about to hit Hawkeye, and Scarlet Witch catches it, and then she saves someone else, and then she saves someone else. Then it went to other, I think back to the Spider-Man fight, and then did other fights, and then other fights, and then and then all of a sudden there's Vision again. He disappeared for a whole bit. I understand that you gotta, follow other people in the fights, but yeah, it was a bit weird.
Yeah, I thought both of them throughout the entire movie were lower than their theoretical canon strengths, and I guess you could explain it as not being experienced, but then especially like I said before with Spider-Man being over-experienced, I think they just lost some of their
even compared to Avengers Age of Ultron, they seemed less powerful.
So I think they were trying to make Iron Man and Captain seem more powerful rather than just the figureheads of their two teams, but it didn't quite work for me.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I understand why you would want those two to be facing off, because those two are very similar in kind of strength, even like completely different skill sets and ways of motivating people and stuff. But I did like at the very end, because in the middle of it, they've got, it's called Black Widow and Hawkeye. Basically, we're still friends unless you don't pull your punches, basically. At the very end, Cap and Iron Man basically make amends with that letter.
Yes.
Cap extends the offer, I'm here if you need me, and then, not many, P.S. you're off the team. Kind of. He doesn't say it,
Yeah.
but basically, we've got someone else paying our bills now. Too bad.
Yeah, which brings us back Black Panther, and I thought Black Panther was. I mean, I don't even feel like I need to say much because they pretty much nailed him.
Yeah,
The actor was perfect. Everything worked perfectly. I don't need to say anything else.
His motivation throughout it made sense.
Yep.
Immediately following the death of his father,
It all made
of course
perfect
he's going to be a
sense.
bit upset, and then he resolves it. And
Actually, it makes me really excited for Black Panther movie. Actually,
yeah.
So overall, a really solidly well made movie
Yes.
that is really good.
A lot of fun, lots of great things, especially we watch them reasonably intently, so we catch a lot of stuff that some other people miss, which is great fun explaining to them like 2 minutes after the movie finished. Hilarious.
But yeah, I really enjoyed the movie. I look forward to
Red Wing, the movie, be fantastic.
yeah, that should be the next movie.
Just
Doctor Strange, you're off the table, man. Red Wings,
just
in.
really long drone shots.
Cool. Thank you all for watching.
And we'll see you soon with more content.